Hello again, this is part two. I thought I was going to be able to video the form as I went through it and point to you with a pencil about the different points that I'm making, but that didn't work out very well with my camera. So I'll talk us through it, and if you can follow the form and stay with me, perhaps then you can glean some of the insight that I have on this race that we're handicapping for today. So it's the 8th race at Parks. You always look at the conditions. You can see that it's a 7-furlong race, and it's an allowance race N1X. So the conditions are it's for fillies who haven't won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter allowance, or state bred. So these are younger horses, and some of them are 5 years old, so they're mares, but they're moving up in competition. Sometimes they've been at this level, sometimes not. I think in this race, the favorite, the number 6, is a very vulnerable favorite. I don't like this horse at all. At 5-2 morning line, you can see the last time that it was at Parks, it was the favorite. It was beaten by 3 1/4 lengths there on the 24th of January. It's a very classy horse. It ran in grade 1 races and grade 3 races and so on. But this is the first time ever that it's going 7 furlongs. Now, 7 furlongs is a very unusual distance. It's not quite a sprint, which is 6 furlongs or less. It's not quite a route, which is a mile or more. It's somewhere in between. And although they're stretching this horse out from its last meeting when it was at Aqueduct on the 18th of February, it couldn't get the job done there either and was closing, but yet couldn't win. So this is a very classy horse. I understand that. But it just seems to me like the horse is tired as well. If you go all the way over to the right, in his last race at Parks, in the slop, he angled out. Now, when a horse angles out, it means that they're tired. And then on the top line, on the 18th of February, he was 4 wide in the upper stretch, which means, again, if he's running wide, he's almost certainly tired. So they haven't given this horse a freshening. I think he's sitting there ready to be beaten. And as I said, from my rules, never beat a beaten favorite who's coming back trying to do anything. And at Philadelphia Park, that's exactly what they're trying to do. And I think that I hope a lot of money's bet on this horse. I hope it's 1-to-1, which means that everyone else will be more, as you know from the studies that you've done. And I just think he's ready to lose. He's the class. I understand that. But all the signs to me point that he's just not ready today. The horse that I like, along with some other ones, though, would be the 2-horse. The 2-horse extra sexy exotic minx. There you go, which is a bit of a name. I think that horse is going to obviously go to the lead. This is a lone speed horse in this race. And one of the greatest handicapping angles I've ever come across is when you have a lone fast horse. Now, the number 7 horse, Little Miss Amy, is also a speed horse, and it's going to try to go with her. I don't think she's going to make it, which I'll explain a little bit later. But this is also the second back for this horse. It was laid off since the 5th of July. It came back on the 6th of March and won by a whole lot. Generally, horses that perform like that don't reproduce those performances. It would be unusual if she did. Notice that she had a win on the 30th of April and on the 6th of March, both of them on speed favoring tracks. Well, that's not going to be tomorrow. I looked at the weather report, which is always important, and it's supposed to rain and thunderstorm at Philadelphia Park. So she'll go for the lead. She'll probably win. If you look at her running line there at Philadelphia Park, she's run 6 times and she's hit the board 5. So this is a pretty safe bet that if you bet on it across the board to win, place, and show, you're probably going to cash and at least get your money back, which is one of the things you want to look for. I like this horse, but I like somebody else a little bit better, which I'll talk about in a bit. I also like the 10 horse, Billy No Sabe, which is spelled in English, right? Obviously, that means Billy doesn't know in Spanish. At 9-2, there's a lot to like here. However, there's a lot not to like. So let's go over those things, shall we? Number 1, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner with his jockey-trainer combination, this jockey-trainer combination is 0 for 6. They've never won together. However, he is on an up form cycle. If you look at his last 2 races, his buyers have gone from a 62 to a 70. Now, In America, we always look for the second race back for a horse to perform well, and he did. He hung in there, couldn't catch the leader, but he still did very well. A lot of British handicappers look for the third race back. So if you're British and you believe that, which I happen to put some stock in, you would think that he would also run a very good race, this one coming up, especially on an upward form cycle. They did well in this company last time out. The last time out, he was in at 67,000 N1X and did very well and could very well win today. Although I doubt it, he's going to win. I think he's probably going to have a piece of this race. He's also being turned back. Okay, so this is a handicapping angle where if you take a horse at like 6 or 7 furlongs, which he did on the 20th of February, and then the next race they stretch him out to a mile, well, he couldn't win. But now they're turning him back to a shorter distance. And horses frequently respond to that very positively. So on the turn back, he could very well do well. Note also at this distance, he's had 3 races at 7 furlongs. He's won once, and he's placed twice. So his record at 7 furlongs is very good, and he's also got a 114-7 Bug Boy on top, which is about another 7 pounds difference, and yes, that does make a difference. Now, on the other side of the fence, he's got a 6% jockey. The jockey's only won 6% of his races. He's a Bug Boy. He's just a jockey starting out. But in 2006, the trainer was only 7% as well. So as much as I'd like to like this horse more, there's a lot stopping me from putting it in my top selection. However, I do think this horse will probably come third. The horse that I really like at 6-1, which is a bit of a value, which is what I always look for. That's what gets my money. If a favorite is correctly priced, as I'm sure Dr. Graham has told you, it's very difficult to make money on that. And certainly, I would have to think long and hard before betting a horse that was below 5-2, and I almost certainly wouldn't do it. This horse is at 6-1. Now, this horse, Hey Brachiol, or however it's pronounced, has an awful lot to like, and he's very quiet here on the form. You have to know how to read these numbers to be able to sniff out where the value is. So let me point out to you about this horse. If you look at the extreme right column, in his last 2 races, it says he was extremely wide in the stretch, his second to last race. Third to last race, he angled out and he flattened. Then after that, he was blocked in the turn, but he closed up and won. Well, those second and third to last races show that the horse is tired. He needs a rest. And yet, tired as he was, on the 2nd of January, he was 4th all the way, and he comes in the stretch, and he wins as the favorite. Well, that showed that he had some heart. And now the trainer, correctly, has given him a couple months off, has freshened him up, has worked him out twice, and is now putting him back in. Well, why do you put a horse back in? Because the horse is ready to win. You want to win some money. Well, why didn't they put him back in at the state bred allowance? That's all he's ever won. He's had 1 race against N1X Company and did well all the way to the top of the stretch, and in his 2nd race then folded and finished 6th by 5 lengths. Now the trainer's not throwing him back in at state bred. Now he's throwing him in at higher competition. Well, why? The trainer's telling you here that this horse is ready to run, and at 6-1 has caught my attention. So he ran 7 furlongs in the past. If you look, for example, at the 2nd of October at Philadelphia Park, he ran 6 furlongs in 1:11-1. Now, his buyer number doesn't stand out that day, but that's still his time. I don't know what the track condition was, but that's still his time. And that's competitive with any other horse that there is in this race. Okay? He's run 2 distances at 7 furlongs, and he's come in second once. That's enough for me to put my money behind this horse. Okay? I like the 9, but let's move on and talk about some others. The number 7 is going to go with the number 2 when the gate opens. But as you see, he's got a Bug Boy on, but he's a turf horse. He ran on the dirt 1 time at Churchill Downs in his maiden outing, didn't go very well, and now they're going to switch him from turf, which tends to be very firm and easy to run on, to dirt in the rain. at Philadelphia Park, which tends to be a very, from my experience, very soft and deep track. He's going to wear out. Turf races are like Olympic bicycle races where everyone runs around slowly, and then on the last lap, everyone goes very, very fast and tries to win at the end. That's what turf horses do. They're called two-pace horses. In the dirt, when you go, the competition is to wear the other guy out and be the last man standing. I don't think the 7 has got the gas to do it. The number 6 I've already talked about, wouldn't get my money ever. The number 5 horse, Gia Alexa. I suspect this horse is hurt or was hurt. If you look at his running line, on December the 5th, he runs at Philadelphia Park. They lay him off until the 21st of January. He comes back as the beaten favorite, or as a favorite, and loses by 12. So now they've laid him off. Okay, is he okay now? Is he not? I don't know. But neither do you, and neither does anybody else. Does he need a race? At 8-1, he's just too much of a gamble, given that record, when I suspect that he's hurt. The number 4 horse, Alexandra's Mist, is a poor horse. They're running this horse to death. It has no business here. It has no chance of winning whatsoever. The last time it won was at a $20,000 claiming race. He goes up to a $20,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime and loses by 23. They ought to retire this horse, even though it's only 4 years old. All they're doing is causing this horse misery, and I feel sorry for it. The number 3, Check Bouncing Billy, is the first time at this level of competition. He won at State Breds. He won at a 40,000 maiden race, but I just don't see that he has the speed to compete here. And at 12-1, wouldn't get my money. And the number 1, Like a Lion, last won on the 13th of September at Philadelphia Park in a $40,000 claiming race. Well, since then, hasn't really done much. Now, his last time out, he did come in second in a 5.5 furlong sprint. You know, when you haven't won in that long, I just don't think that this is the horse for me, and it wouldn't get my money. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably bet $10 to win in place on the 9, and then also bet a 210 over the 9, $2 exacta. So if the 9 comes in second place, which you got to allow for some problems, for some havoc, I'll get him to place. I'll hit the exacta, but I want to press the 9 to win. I wouldn't bet the 9 over the 210 exacta, because with that $4 at 6-1 paying $14, I would then have that, what would that be, $28 on the exacta, and it's unlikely to pay more than that. So if you like a horse to win, bet it to win. If you want to try to cover it in case it comes in second, then you get an exacta saver like I just bet. I don't bet the show. There's no money in it. It's better off to bet to win in place. The win to win the money, but the place to get you your money back in case there's some room for some chaos. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I promise you future handicappers probably won't have as much to say as I do. But good luck, everybody. And remember, when the race is over, hold all tickets until it's official. Marshall, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.